Wingardium Leviosa! Are you floating in your chair right now as you watch this video? If so, my spell worked. If not, my aim was off. Today we are going to make a lovely wand. It will be this wand, and it looks really expensive. I'm sure you could sell it for a chunk. You could make it for, I think, probably under $10, depending on what kind of items you use, and you actually don't even have to make this wand. The way this has little turquoise beads all over it, you could use star beads, moon beads, big chunky tumbled amethyst beads. You can use anything, so we're going to get into that right now. Today we are going to make a wand. I'm showing you how to make a really fancy wand with crafting wire and a few gemstones. Now, like most of my DIYs, you can customize this for your own preferences, and we'll get into that later. If you're new, to subscribe and check out our playlists. I'm Morticia. This wand can be for cosplay, if you want to do like a fairy or wizardly type thing. It can be Harry Potter. I'm kind of making it in the ornate style of the Harry Potter movie wands, kind of. Or if you're a real witch and you work with stone energies and you want a stone wand, this is also your jam. So, the ingredients that we're using, I'm all in my potions master mode, are this beading wire. I got this from Joann's. You can also get this in smaller amounts at Walmart. You can order it online. You can use silver, you can use copper, you can use gold color, you can use, there's all kinds of colored wires that you can use. But you can get it from the floral department at Joann's if you want a ton of it like this, and I suggest that. But there's so many ways to get wire. This is 20 gauge, so it's thick enough. I suggest not using thinner than this because you'll have to use a ton to make it not bendy. So you could use like even thicker if you can, but I wouldn't go to like 22 or 24 gauge. You go 18, 16, 20, whatever. This is 20, so we're going to use this, and the other items we're using are, I have these little turquoise beads. I'm indifferent to turquoise exceedingly, but I'm making it for a friend. So if you wanted to use like black stones or little star beads or like, you know, moons or whatever, just this is going to go down the whole wand in a little spiral. So any kind of whatever theme you want for your wand. And then at either end, I am going to have these quartz point beads. It's a crystal and it's just drilled at the top. And I got these at Michael's, but they also sell them at Fire Mountain and other places. You just would Google drilled quartz points. So that's going to be at either end of the wand to give it another edge of magic and mystery. And then we have our trusty scissors. So that's just 4 things. And again, the way you would customize that, I'm going to make a friend one with a different thing at the end. One of the ends is going to have an owl on it, so like you could do an owl one and it's just going to be a charm and it would swing down, and then the other end is going to have a stone. So like there's so many ways you can do this. I just cut the beads so they'll be all loose, and now we're going to start the foundation of the wand. You imagine about how long you want it. I'm going to make this about 10 inches, and you could do longer, you can do shorter, it's just about how much wire you use. And I'm going to have the crystals on the ends, so it's going to be, I'm going to use wire a little bit shorter than 10 inches because the crystals are going to add a couple inches. So, I'm going to go ahead and put the first crystal on. I thought that was the hole. There goes the hole. Okay, so I had already bent the wire here. I'm just working the crystal down. So now the crystal is on, and it looks like it moves a little, but it probably won't do that by the time I'm done. And if it does, it's not the end of the world. Now, you can start it so many ways. You can just double it up and then keep looping to make it thicker. I am going to just spiral it around like this. I'm going to put the scissors down, where I'm just twisting it like that. What it does is it makes it thicker. Just adds a bit more foundation. And now again, watch what I'm doing, and you don't need to copy exactly me. You're gonna find your own way. That's what I do with a lot of my DIYs. There are ways to just kind of give you a concept and then you do your own thing with it. Like I have a bat ring DIY that I made, a bat bracelet DIY, I'm sorry, that I made with one of those stretch rings that has a centerpiece and the rest of the band is made of stretchy beads. And you could do the same thing with like a butterfly or a, you know, like whatever you want. Okay, now I think I'm going to go ahead and put the other crystal on. So I'm going to just give myself a lot of excess wire and cut it so that I have freedom of movement. Then I'll show you how to make it even thicker faster as soon as I get this other crystal on the other end. I could have done this even at the end of the wand, but I just feel like doing it at the beginning, so that's what's going to happen. And I could have put a different stone at the other end, a different shape. You know, this is, again, just a very flexible wand idea. I see people making metal wands online and they get sold for a lot. So this is not that expensive. The wire is like $5 for a ton. Okay, now I have the other wand on here. And again, I'm just going to spiral around. We will be doing other things. It's not going to keep looking like a spiral. It's going to get thicker and chunkier. And I'm going to show you how that begins. Ooh, let's hit myself in the eye. That's why I'm wearing glasses. Well, one reason I'm wearing glasses. I won't hit myself in the eye. Okay, now, say hello, Gomez.
Hello.
Do you want to see me hit myself in the eye? Should I do it for you?
No, when that was enough.
Actually, that just touched near my glasses. Okay, now here's how we're going to thicken it and make it pretty. It's two different things at once. See, I have this wire, and I'm just twirling it around on itself, making a little loop. See that loop there? And now I'm going to do another little curly twirl, and it's going to stick out at a different point. And then I'm going to turn it, just spiral again. I like to spiral to keep it like, to give it traction where it's not going to move. And then another little loopy, just a circle, and let it stick out. Now see how that's sticking out kind of from the side of the wand? They're all kind of like, it's not looking too pretty right now, but it will. Give it a minute. And you don't have to make it like symmetrical. It's kind of going to be prettier when you don't. Just keep making different little twirls. And what these twirls do is they're thickening it. See it when it sticks out here, this part is thicker than this part now. But it's all going to be thicker eventually in a lot of different areas. So again, I'm just making a twirl. Now I'm going to spiral it around to keep it from moving too much. The spiral, you know, hugs it to itself so it's not moving so much. And now another twirl. See all that? It's going to be a lot thicker, but there's several ways we're going to make it thicker, and I'm showing them all to you right now. So another twirl, another twirl. It's not on the other one. As you see, they're just kind of random, whatever I feel like doing. There goes another one. Now we're going to spiral to hold it. Let's do another one. All the kind of designs you want to do. This is like wire, but it's like as movable and moldable as clay. So you just go like this. Now this still isn't sturdy enough to be a wand. So we're going to keep doing those over each other until it gets thicker. But there's another thing we're going to do. I got to get more wire. Again, you don't really need to measure because you're going to end up using it all. So I'm getting a lot for the second move I'm going to show you that I used to thicken it with, because you see how easily this is to bend, and that's what makes it so nice to work with, because it's like clay. But you don't want your wand to bend and, you know, whatever when you're actually trying to play with it or use it for your nefarious purposes. So I just stuck it through the end where it meets the crystal because I'm making more wire. We have to attach it. So now I'm getting the two ends together so it's even, so we're working with an even amount of wire. Now we've got two pieces of wire here. Now that is thicker than one. It's simple math. Two pieces of wire are thicker than one. Now, so we can continue to be sturdy and pretty, I'm going to spiral these pieces together like I did originally. This is kind of long, but I want you guys to understand all the ways you can do this. It doesn't take but about 10 or 15 minutes to make when you're not explaining it to someone. Now I just keep twisting it on itself so it's making it like a pretty spiral. See how that gets like a rope chain or something? You just twist it so that it does that. The ends are getting stuck together. I don't want you to spiral yet until I'm done. And it just adds more filigree look to the wand and makes it thicker because I'm about to spiral it along the wand and loop back and twirl it, but it's a thicker piece than the other one, so eventually we're going to have a nice, sturdy, ornate piece of metal. And then we're going to add beads to it, and then we're going to spiral some more. So check this. We did not forget the beads. We will be on a thinner piece of wire when we do the beads. Now see, I'm just spiraling over these loops because it's going to make the loops not easily bent or anything like that. Just put the spiral over them. And now we're going to go back and add a few more loops with thick wire. And again, it's just asymmetrical. You're not looping it along the other loops. They have nothing to do with each other. And it's getting curly looking, see? Like a little vine of a magic. And again, you can just keep twirling, or you can spiral it around itself again. Does not need to be perfectly symmetrical. And if like this, it ran out a little bit closer to the end, it's still right near that crystal, so I can just press it down. And this is the middle stage. Check it out. Now we're about to put some stones on it. Then we're going to put more silver over that. Now I'm just going to hold this to get the length I want. A little bit longer than I need because it's better than running out. Snipper goes the scissors. And again, we're just slipping the wire into one of the little holes made up here. And getting it even on either end because I'm going to be using both of these thin pieces. Twisting it a little bit to hold it still, like a little tying off of a bread tie. And now we're going to use these little turquoise beads. Now you could use chunkier beads, but I'm making it for a friend that I wanted to use this color for. Maybe I shouldn't try to hold several beads while stringing them. And I'm putting it on there. And I put a bead on this end. I'm going to do this just a few beads before I stop and do a twirly. Well, yeah, I'm just going to start now. Okay, there's one bead on each. And then I'm going to kind of do this where they're crossed over like that. Oops. I'm trying to knock out the camera. I'm knocking out myself. I'm knocking out the camera. Okay, so it's a lot of repetitive. I've got one bead here on this piece of wire and then putting another bead on the second piece. You can use any shape or color bead, whether it's a larger tumbled stone like a big chunky amethyst or an onyx or like whatever. It's whatever stone you like or whoever you're making it for likes. It's a nice way to personalize. And then I'm going to put another. So it's going to look like it's studded all over with these little stones. It's going to be the point. Or, you know, if you use big stones. Or again, if you use bead shapes. Like if you want to get all dark, you could use skulls. Have skulls studding all the way down the wand. Okay, again, now I've got a couple beads here. I'm just crossing the wire over like a crisscross. And then turning it around. Now we're back to the other side of the wand. And crisscross it again so that the beads don't wiggle around too much. They're going to move a little because of the fact that they have holes and they will move. But it's actually better than gluing things on because due to the fact they do have holes and you're putting it on the wire, it's not going to come off. This is a durable wand. And unless someone is intentionally like trying to break it, it's not going to break. So that's always lovely. And you can put just one on each before you crisscross, or you could do a few, or you can random amounts, you know, just however you want it to look. Again, I like things that you personalize and you're making it for you or someone else and it's exactly how you want it to be. I think that makes it extra nice. So, showing you how generally to do it and you get to do it your way. Just put two on here together. Let's make it a little asymmetrical for fun. It looks more natural. So tiny it probably wouldn't even be noticed regardless. And I'm doing a crisscross. I would stop and do some twirlies, but I'm going to do twirlies over this with more wire when I'm done. So that's how it's looking so far. See how the stones are on either side. And that's how it works. We are back. We have magically skipped to the end because I did not want to bore you with repetition. And this is how it looks when it's covered all over with the stones. And I noticed that the crystals are moving a little. So what I'm doing to prevent that, it's not going to hurt anything, but I want it to sit straight, is I'm just going to crisscross it like this with some wire and give a little twirly. You can decorate the crystal like this too if you want. I could have put stones down the crystal too, but I'm going to leave it. But there's so many things you can do. Then just go down and wrap, and now the crystal won't moving. I'm going to do that on the other end too as soon as I have one more little stage where I'm going to add more thickness to the wand and twirlies. It's already thick enough, but I just want to. So we are going to. Now a little bit more wire. We're almost done. See, this isn't expensive. You can get any kind of beads from anywhere, and you don't have to use crystals for the tip. You could use big other kinds of beads or skulls or stars or moons, or again, they could go down the front of the bead, but they could also be used to tip it off. So okay, now what I'm going to do is do a quick, I think I'm going to do it on this end. I was just kind of thinking how I want to do it. Okay, I'm going to wrap this crystal. It's a little bit different than the other one, which makes it cool, a little twirly, so that it is more solidly affixed to the base and should not move as much. You can move it if you press on it and stuff, unless you add a lot more wire, but I don't think that's going to be done. And now I'm just kind of doing another wrap twirl. You could do double wire, you could do spiralies, just like I did before. So, I mean, again, just whatever you feel creatively. This is a molding process. Doing another little curly twirly and bringing it back, and this is how I am going to end this wand. There we go. It waves. It's sturdy. Again, you know, if you try to bend it, but the Harry Potter wands that they sell, they're supposed to be wooden wands in the book, but they're making them like out of some sort of ceramic, and they could break. And this will not break if it hits the floor or whatever. You would have to put effort into it. So, isn't it lovely? Magical, beautiful. I think so. And if you're working and selling stuff on Etsy, this would go for a nice amount. So it doesn't cost that much to make. Again, you can do anything with it, and it is a nice, pretty end result. So hope you enjoyed, and until next time,
Stay spooky, my friends.